is the Fade 5 Podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets at Jack Wagon. I'm the Big Man 7 here, joined by the good Nathaniel Lundy. It is indeed another Monday night edition of the Fade 5 Podcast. We got a double dip, which means we got double the action to choose from. All right, the honk plus boss. Oh, plus money all the time, plus 100 odds or greater is a requirement. So Lundy, whether on the gridiron or I will allow you drop the puck and make it some bucks, or possibly in the Major League Baseball postseason, just give me some meaningful action. What you got?
Well, we'll get to the baseball postseason, Brad, coming up in bonus time, but let's start off as we always do. Come on, folks, we're going to the ice. Yes, of course, we're going to the ice. 10 games being played today on this Indigenous Peoples / Columbus Day holiday. And in fact, the first game, my Colorado Avalanche at 12:30 Eastern time. Yes, they're playing day games today as part of the holiday. Very similar, oddly, very similar to what the NBA does on MLK Day in terms of having games all day. That's what the NHL is doing. So if you want to kick back and watch some daytime hockey, like I will, things will get started with my Colorado Avalanche and the Buffalo Sabres. But we are going to go to the Florida Panthers, who are on the road 3-0 so far on the season, are the defending Cup champions. They are up taking on Philadelphia. We are going to lean into Sam Reinhart to get us a goal anytime at plus 150. Why do I like this? Last year, Reinhart played the Philadelphia Flyers 3 times. Reinhart had 3 goals. 3 divided by 3. That's an average of a goal a game, people. And on top of that, by the way, he had 3 goals and 3 assists against Philadelphia. So Rhino really likes playing the Flyers, shall we say. And so I can't resist this at a plus 150. I would have expected this actually when I popped open the odds last night, looked at him again this morning. I would have expected him to be somewhere around maybe the 130 mark or 125 even at some books. But DraftKings has him at a plus 150. So I will roll with that for an anytime goal for Rhino on the road against Philly.
Oh, yeah, you had me at Rhino. Rest in peace, Cubs legend. I know a little bit different, but immediately comes to mind. And I'm still in pain, America, after having to endure not 1, but 2 catastrophic losses on Saturday. And I've not had a great betting weekend either. Just get this stupid weekend out of the way, or hopefully make some money back on little Bijan Robinson. Yeah, let's spread some Bijan on our sandwich and go ahead and consume. I'm going to go 80-plus rush yards tonight in the battle against the Buffalo Bills at a plus 118. A book there at DraftKings Sportsbook. I think Bijan is going to blast away in this game. The primary weakness of this Buffalo defense has clearly been shown in the trenches, where entering the week they're number 27 in rush EPA defense, giving up 4.99 yards per carry. 98.8 rush yards per game, just to the running back position. Now the football Frankensteins only want to go for 80 plus against them. That was back, of course, in week 1, well north of 100 in that game. But it's Bijan Robinson. The guy is the picture of efficiencies. Number 1 in yards created per touch, numero uno in yards per touch at 7.1, number 13 yak per attempt, and numero uno as well and total missed tackles forced with 24. He has been incredible. He's only going over 80 yards 1 time this season. That was against the Minnesota Vikings, in which he hung a $143 on him, but all he needs 80 to get there. So just stay competitive, Falcons. And if you do on your home turf, I believe Bijan reaches the threshold and a cash. Again, at plus 118. With those bets on the board, it's time to get after it with another Monday edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
All right, numero cinco here on the countdown. Let's try to make some cash with Keon Coleman. The perceived, I guess it was more or less a WR2 for the Buffalo Bills. They really spit it around. I think Khalil Shakir is really a WR1, although Dalton Kincaid you could have as part of that argument as well, even though he is a plus-size weapon. But Keon Coleman, pretty low threshold here at 41.5. Why do I like it? Well, a tough matchup, superficially, if you look on paper, as Atlanta is number 8 in dropback EPAD. However, Going to get a lot of Mike Hughes, more than likely, a mano-a-mano coverage. He was just number 85 and pass coverage grade there at Pro Football Focus. 5 wide receivers have gotten to at least 42 yards against the ATL this season. And you look at Coleman, healthy, 5.8 targets per game. He is top 30 in total air yards under the week, a 103.5 passer rating when targeted, and has gone over this number already a couple of times. So, again, I think this game's got some sneaky shootout appeal, Lundy. So, as a result, Keon Coleman, I think it was a shot. It could go for 50. So, you want to, do a little step ladder, I wouldn't blame you. But I'll take the standard line on the over 41.5 receiving yards at a minus 115 there at BetMGM. Numero 5 on the countdown. Fade or follow?
I will follow you on this one, good sir, because I'm actually in agreement with you. I think this number's a little soft for Mr. Coleman. I don't think it's a bad idea maybe to even ladder him up, similar to what you were talking about with Bijan Robinson and trying to take an alt number with the idea of the game staying in the competitive realm, which I think it will. I actually do. I think that Atlanta is going to manage to keep this one close. I'm actually a big fan of a lot of the Bijan Robinson props, including, for example, his total yards, rush plus receiving. Because again, if Atlanta can keep this close, and I think they can keep this a competitive game. If Atlanta can do that, then that means they'll continue to give Bijan Robinson the ball on the handoffs, but they'll also spread it out in terms of the receiving yards. And that also bodes extremely well for Keon Coleman, because if it stays close, then Buffalo's going to have to be able to do the exact same thing. Let's play the over and let's see if we can break Brad's streak of bad bets.
Oh, man, the pain! It's still real.
Number 4.
Numero 4 here on the Monday night edition of the Fade 5 Countdown. Let's go to the other matchup between my Chicago Bears in the nation's capital taking on the Commanders, and I salute a commander on this one. Another low threshold here. Luke McCaffery. No, it's not Christian McCaffrey. We're talking about Luke McCaffery. Over just 20.5 receiving yards. That is it, folks. Could be a one-catch cash potentially at a minus 115 there at BetMGM. Why do I like this bet? Well, if you look at Luke McCaffery, he's ran at least 11 routes in 4 straight games, and he's gone over this prop in 3 of his last 4 as well. He's only averaging 1.8 targets per game, but he's averaging 20.9 yards per catch. I'm no math major, Lundy, but 20.9 is slightly higher than the 20.5 needed, and that's what he averages on a single stinking catch. Also an outstanding 3.11 yards per route run. I love that. Hey, look at the Bears. They're a little bit better on the back end, but still beatable down the field. 10 wide receivers have gone for at least a blackjack against them in the box score this season, though they're number 13 in drop back EPA defense. So numero 4 here on the countdown, Luke McCaffery. Give me the over. Just hit your average, son. And we're cashing in on that over at 20.5 receiving yards at a minus 115 at BetMGM. Good sir. Fade or follow?
I think you're getting influenced thinking that he's his brother. I'm gonna fade. I think you're following the name,
Okay.
and I get it. I get 20.9, 20.5. You got to break out like it's a really, really tight line there between those two. I say he finishes under this one. Maybe you get lucky and he gets the 2 catches. If he gets the 2, you're loving life. But right now, I gotta fade you.
You know what I am right now, Lundy? Highly McCaffeinated.
Number 3.
Numero 3 here on the Fade 5 Monday night edition. Rome wasn't built in a season. That's why he's killing it in the second year. Rome Dunze, baby, anytime touchdown. I grabbed it over the week when the juice is a little bit higher at plus 155. I've lost 10 cents on that, but I'm still recommending the play here in this matchup at plus 145. Bank there at DraftKings Sportsbook. You look at a Dunze. Man, he has been a stud, especially for fantasy football purposes. People in the virtual game certainly know that. He's been a WR1 through and through, whether you look at fantasy audiences or also in reality, seeing 26.7% of the team target share, 27.8% of the red zone team target share, 5 total red zone targets. And again, the Bears have already had their 1 week siesta. He's also booked a 112.6 passer rating when lined up at the crosshairs, and he has scored a touchdown in all games this year. He's got 5 in total, so he has scored in all 4 matchups previously. Look at the Commanders, kind of ho-hum defensively on the back end. Number 17 and drop back EPA defense. Going to get a lot of Trey Amos in coverage, who has yet to allow a touchdown to his assignments, but he is a modest number 40 in pass coverage grade, according to Pro Football Focus. But altogether, again, Rome Odunze, who was also number 19 in air yards, number 14 in yards per route run. I think he's going to break away on a bomb, connect with Caleb Williams, and cross the chalk. Anytime touchdown as my number 3 play on the countdown today, plus 145 at DraftKings Sportsbook. Lundy, fade or follow.
No reason to actually expand too much on this one. True story, folks. I actually fully, and I mean 100%, if I had been able to bet on it when I rolled out of bed this morning, I would have done it. I actually had guessed that this was going to be your plus bus, Brad, to be able to take him for the touchdown. So I fully expected this to be on the countdown today. I'm in complete agreement with it. Ride the hot hand from a touchdown standpoint and hope that the Commanders allow him to cross the chalk.
Yeah, Rome, hopefully it's going to get it done. You know what else will get it done? And I pray it will eventually. All of my bets are booked there at thegamingjuice.com, my free site. Go ahead and get after it right now. Same with Lundy. We're always free. We're always transparent on there. Lundy's free. Always public spreadsheet lives on that site. And so does mine as well. His a lot of NHL stuff, but of course he dabbles in other sports, including the National Football League. I dabble in the NFL. I also dabble in a little college football. It's in a down week. So the gambling gods exacting their revenge and just punching me in the breadbasket throughout the entire weekend. But hey, we continue to fire and hopefully get back on track. So you can check out my week 7 fantasy football rankings already live on the site. You can read all of my various pieces. Going to be rolling out my fantasy flames on quarterbacks tomorrow, followed by running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. Top props later of the week. The college football forecast from Matt Fortuna, Ben Winstein, and Nate Jacobson. You can ask me a question as well. Get it all at thegamingjuice.com. Don't charge you a cent. Click, converse, and cash. ... Maybe.
Number 2.
All right, numero dos here on the Monday edition of the Fade 5 Countdown. Let's get in gear with Tyler Allgeier. I'll take the over on 29.5 rush yards. Seems like a low number in my estimation. A minus 115 there at BetMGM. I already laid out the reason why I like Bijan Robinson. Buffalo has been highly suspect, highly beatable in the trenches this season. Let me go ahead and refresh your memory. I've already have been suffering from amnesia on this episode of the pod. Number 27 are the Bills and rush EPAD entering the night, giving up 4.99 yards per carry, 98.9 rush yards per game. And you look at Allgeier getting a healthy 32.9% of the opportunity share. That's 38.8 rush yards per game, a decent 3.05 yak per attempt, forced him to miss tackle on 18.6% of his touches. And he's gone for at least 30 ground yards, Lundy, in 2 of 4 games. Now, you and I both believe this is going to be a highly competitive affair. So as long as the Bills do not blitz the ATL in their house inside the Mercedes-Benz Dome or whatever the hell they're calling it, I say Tyler Allgeier shifts into that high gear and hits the over on 29.5 rush yards. Numero dos here on the countdown, minus 115 at BetMGM. Fade or follow.
Oh, let me think here. Allgeier getting gear. You're having some fun with the word play, as you usually do. You can tell Brad has a history as a writer. Brad likes to find funny ways to make things rhyme. It's really why he is so caffeinated slash drunk in the morning, is because he's looking for as much inspiration as he can get. I say Allgeier does get this done. Again, if we believe this is going to be competitive, which means that Brad and I are off our freaking rockers, and this is going to wind up being a boring ass game, and we're going to have to flip things over to the Chicago-Washington game instead, because it'll probably happen, because you and I both think this is going to be competitive. We think it has the potential of being a kind of sneaky in a shootout standpoint, which means it's going to wind up being like 13-12. And you and I are going to be completely wrong, because that is exactly how my weekend has gone as well, outside of the NHL.
Tyler Allgeier, let's make some buckaroos, baby. Run hard, kid.
Number 1.
All right, numero uno here on the Monday edition of the Fade of 5 podcast, naturally. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Got to get some action on Caleb Williams. I can't believe this is plus money, at least when I bet on it. I believe it still is right now at BetMGM. Caleb Williams on the over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I logged it at plus 110 earlier in the week there at BetMGM. Last check, I think it's at plus 105, and I think he is going to get there. Bar none, my top play on the board at that attractive juice. Again, Washington, very subpar in terms of their pass defense. Number 17 drop back EPA defense. 3 quarterbacks have already spun a pair of touchdowns to get them in the same game. They're giving up 8.15 pass yards per attempt, 254.4 pass yards per game. Caleb Williams has done this in 204 contests. A modest, rather meek number 32 when adjusted completion percentage. Ain't great, but he is more accurate inside the red zone. Number 17 in red zone completion percentage. Number 15 in deep ball completion percentage. I think the game's going to hit the over on the 49.5. I think points will be plentiful, and a lot of those are going to come off of the arm of Caleb Williams. I already said Roma Dunze is going to catch one, so he'll find the other. Maybe it's a check down DeAndre Swift. Maybe it's some short field action, Luther Burden, DJ Moore, maybe one of the tight ends. I don't care who it goes to. Maybe it's a fat man touchdown. Caleb Williams, 2 passing strikes is all I need. And we cash home at plus 110 at BetMGM. Numero uno on today's Fade 5. Lundy, fade or follow?
I think this is a decent one to follow if we're going to go after the idea of the high-scoring games. Can we please get some fun here on Monday night? I could really use this. I want a good shootout in the ATL. I want some points between Chicago and Washington. I need some. I want to have some fun. Look, folks, I had to be up at 5:45 yesterday morning because of that stupid Broncos game in London. And so then the rest of the day's football is just a blur to me, okay? And that may or may not be my own fault because of early morning Bloody Marys, but I don't really want anyone to point a finger of blame at anyone in particular. It was a day yesterday, which probably explains my betting. And so let's have a Monday night of entertaining football. I'm really looking forward to that because Detroit really let me down last night. Really let me down.
You know what really let me down? That stupid-ass game across the pond. I wouldn't blame England for trying to invade and retake the United States yet again. Oh, man, that game set football back roughly about 50,000 years. I will stop there because we got to continue on with some bonus time. Bonus time. Lundsey, let's cleanse the palate, my man, from that deplorable game that we all had experience in the Buck Rackathon yesterday. So give me some more action, whether the NFL, the NHL, the Major League Baseball postseason, anything you want, mi amigo. What else do you have?
All right, let's have some fun here. Let's do a couple on the baseball front. I went to this one last night, and I got burned on it, but I'm going to go right back to it. Two different bets that I'm going to make on Vlad Guerrero. First and foremost, I like the over on the 2 on his HRRs, over 1.5 on the HRR. You're going to pay some juice on that. It's a minus 135. I went after it last night, and of course, Toronto leads off their bottom half of the first inning with a home run for George Springer, and then managed one hit the entire rest of the way. So that was pretty painful. I think Vlad can do it tonight. So I do like the HRR. I'm also going to sprinkle a half unit bet on Vlad to go yard for this evening, plus 336 over at DraftKings for him to hit a home run this evening. Again, I'm just going to keep dipping into that because I do believe that he has a very nice hot bat for Toronto. And if they are going to get the job done against the Mariners, they are going to need him to get hot at some point. So again, I'm not going crazy with it because it is the postseason. Home runs are frequently few and far between, but I will play with Vlad again to go yard, plus 336 over at DraftKings. Go back to the ice here for just a moment. Let's go to one of my favorite guys. If you follow this pod, you know that he is one of my favorite players that does not wear the Colorado Avalanche sweater, and that is Kirill Kaprizov of the Minnesota Wild. Give me an assist for Double K tonight at a minus 115 over at DraftKings. Two reasons why on this one. Minnesota's played 2 games so far this season. Kaprizov has 4 assists in those first 2 games. So he is dishing out the apples, and I think he does it again as they get ready to take on the LA Kings this evening. Why? Darcy Kemper is going to be between the pipes for the Kings, and so far this season allowing 3.62 goals against in his 2 starts. He is 0-2, and his save percentage is a pathetic 0.860. So all that combined means I fully expect Minnesota to be able to score against the Kings. And if that's going to be the case, Kaprizov is going to continue the hot streak that he has in terms of dishing out the apples. Wouldn't be surprised for him to get a goal and an assist in this one if you want a same game parlay that together. Let's go back to Monday Night Football, starting with Buffalo and Atlanta. This one has ticked up. I got it at 6.5. It's up to 7.5, and I would still play it. Give me the over on Michael Penix rushing yards in this contest. You want to know why? He's averaging per game just over this number. So I'm going back to your joke, Brad, where it was 20.9 as opposed to 20.5 for Luke McCaffery. I will do the exact same thing with Penix. He's averaging 7.8 yards rushing. The number is 7.5. But why do I like this? Every quarterback Buffalo has played this season has gone over this number. And that includes the fact that they played 2 quarterbacks against the Jets. Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields went over this threshold. So every single quarterback that Buffalo has faced, including the fact that the Jets went to Tyrod, went over this number. So I say Penix scrambles and gets himself over. Like I said, I got it at 6.5. It's at 7.5. I would still play it because I think Penix is going to be pushing a dozen yards rushing on the ground in this particular contest. And then the hyphenated one. So Brad was the caffeinated one. I'm referring to that is McCroskey Merritt for Washington. Give me the over on his longest rush of 15.5 in this game this evening. Chicago has allowed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different dudes to have a longest rush above this number. And you want to know who one of them was, Brad? Geno Smith.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's kind of painful when 7 running backs have done it to you and a quarterback named Geno Smith has done it to you. So with that in mind, I think that the hyphenated one goes over the 15.5 on the longest rush. You're going to pay a little bit of juice on that one. I think I got it at a minus 125, but I think the juice is worth it because of how leaky the Bears defense has been in giving up those long rushes to running backs and to Geno Smith. I yield the floor to the fine gentleman from Illinois.
Yeah, great call on that one, Mimigo. Going to definitely tell you on a couple of them for sure. All right, let's go to the Team Huevos parlay play on Monday night. Let's do a little same game parlay in the first matchup between the Bills and the Falcons. Leg numero uno, give me Josh Palmer for 15 plus receiving yards. And leg numero dos, I'm going to live and land down under on Drake London, 6.5 receptions. I put those hands together as a plus 160 there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Looking at Palmer, guy is averaging 20 rounds per game, 3.6 targets per game. He's netting 4.5 yards per catch. I think he'll get a couple of catches in this one. Number 28, A-Dot. He has gone over 15 yards in 4 of 5 games, and likely going to see a lot of A.J. Terrell in coverages. Number 76 in pass coverage grade there at PFF. Meanwhile, if you look at Drake London, of course, he's seen a line share of targets at 9.3 per game, but only number 46 in catchable target rate. He's averaging south of this number at 6 receptions a game, been under in 2 of 4. I don't like the matchup against Benford, who's been roasty and toasty, giving up a 70.8% catch rate, but Buffalo has only allowed 2 wide receivers to catch 7 or more balls in a game. So to recap, the Team Huevos parlay play. Same gamer, Josh Palmer, 15 plus. Receiving yards, Drake London, under 6.5 receptions, plus 160 there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Elsewhere, bonus time. I'll just rifle through a couple of these parlays that I built. Number one, JCM, Ja'Cory Krosky married. He already laid everything out on some of the rushing side. I'll take 50 plus rushing yards. The Bears aren't defending where they're licking the trenches. Give me a Dunze, also 50 plus receiving yards, and give me the Bears plus 10.5 on the old spread. They may lose this game, but I think it's going to be by single figures. So uno, dos, tres, that's plus 125. Speaking of Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, I like the over as well on 8.5 receiving yards at ESPN Bet. That is it at a minus 120. That could be a single play payday. Lundy, I think you're digging that as well. That's why you're swapping in and out the screens.
Oh, I'm just pressing the wrong buttons. It's okay. No big deal. No big deal.
That's all right. Yeah.
Pay no attention.
Crazy effects here.
Pay
Crazy
no
effects
to me.
on
I'm
the
good.
show.
Yeah, no, I like that number though. I'll go ahead and chime in as long as I'm sitting here on the screen.
Yeah, good call. And last one for you, another same gamer in the same game, Caleb Williams, 5 plus rush attempts. I'll take the total down to 44.5 and dunk on the over on that number. Even Steven plus 100 juice. You know the Caleb Williams is an impromptu scrambler, a couple of design runs here and there per game. I think that's going to come through. And again, I think points are going to be plentiful in this affair between Maine Bears and the Commanders. All right, we are out of breath and out of time here on the Fade 5 podcast. Do us a favor and go ahead, and that is the wrong little mention I had at the bottom of the screen. There's the right one. Drop us a rating and or review right now at your convenience. Also, fade or follow us on the X or the Twitter. Lundy at Nate Lundy, myself at Noisy Huevos. Go to the gamingjuice.com, you jackals. Go to betalytics.com and sign up with promo code JUICE. Again, promo code JUICE for 25% off their awesome projections today. For the outstanding and lovely Nathaniel Lundy, I'm Brad Evans. Until next time, as always, fade or follow. That is up to you. Cure my pain, Chicago, please.